The video you are about to see is a collection of letters that are directed to an American senator in response to that senator's call for action concerning Ukraine's illegal persecution of its 1,000-year-old Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Our firm is counsel to the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. We are not counsel to these journalists, nor have we acted on their direction in putting this video together. However, we felt that their statements contained in these letters are critically important in understanding the behavior of Ukrainian authorities, their political and secret police activities in suppression of the church. The Ukrainian government has decided in a moment of hyper-nationalism through Bill 8371 and through many coordinated illegal activities of the SBU secret police to suppress and destroy our client, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. These letters are a reflection of the illegal tactics used. I want to make very clear that our firm, and indeed the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, stands with and behind the people of Ukraine in their legitimate struggle for freedom. The behavior of the Ukrainian authorities in dividing religious believers in Ukraine is contrary to the national interests. Thank you for watching.
Dear Mr. James David Vance, I am a Ukrainian journalist and an Orthodox Christian. I am writing this letter to you from behind bars. I've been in prison for 5 months simply because we publicly spoke about the persecution of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. We are being held in a cage without a verdict and are being tried for almost the same thoughts and statements that you freely voiced in the US Senate in April 2024. We are facing absurd and ridiculous charges, under the toughest articles of the Criminal Code of Ukraine, including treason with the prospect of life imprisonment. The prosecution does not hide the fact that this is due to our journalistic texts, words and thoughts. We are being charged with completely ridiculous accusations. For example, our criminal case includes UOJ publications with quotes from journalist Tucker Carlson, politicians Vivek Ramaswamy, and Tulsi Gabbard about the persecution of Christians by the Zelensky regime. The prosecution claims that their words are manipulations and disinformation that benefit Russia. On this basis, we are accused of treason. I'm 50 years old and a Ukrainian journalist who is being persecuted for defending the constitutional rights of the country's largest and oldest religious denomination, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. The Ukrainian government is engaging in unprecedented interference in the religious sphere, putting immense pressure on the UOC and attempting to ban it. On March 12th of this year, 3 of us were arrested. To this day, we are being held in a Kyiv pre-trial detention center, actually prison, without any legal grounds. I face 10 to 12 years of imprisonment with confiscation of property, while my colleagues face 15 years or life imprisonment. I emphasize that we are subjected to such severe persecution for our legitimate journalistic activities. Today, violent church raids are occurring across Ukraine. Instead of the democratic values declared by the authorities, corruption, persecution of dissent ideas and total dictatorship are rampant to the country. For almost 5 months, we have been sitting behind bars, torn from our lives, deprived of contact with our families, and left without hope for a fair trial. Mr. Vance, the United States has always been a role model of democracy, protection of human rights, and freedom of religion for the whole world. The criminal cases against priests, bishops, and journalists of fabrications are a disgrace, unthinkable in the democratic world of the 21st century. I am asking for your assistance and help in freeing innocent Orthodox Christians in Ukraine.
What about the assault on traditional Christian communities? The Ukrainian parliament is considering enacting a law that would dispossess large numbers of Christian churches and Christian communities in the country of Ukraine. And maybe some of the churches are too close to Russia, but you don't deprive an entire religious community of their religious freedom because some of its adherents don't agree with you about the relevant conflict of the day. There's this weird way where the debate in this country has gotten warped, where people can't engage in good faith disagreement with our Ukraine policy, you will immediately be attacked for being on the wrong team. This war fever, this inability for us to actually process what's going on in our world to make rational decisions is the scariest part of this entire debate. You see people who served their country, who have been advocating for good public policies, agree or disagree with them for their entire careers, smeared as agents of a foreign government simply because they don't like what we're doing in Ukraine. When you see your fellow Americans making an argument, and the response to that argument is not, well, no, here's why you're wrong, or here's substantively why I disagree with you, but they fling their finger in your face and say, you're a Putin puppet. You're an asset of a foreign regime. This way of making decisions democratically is how we bankrupt this country and start a third world war. We should stop doing it. Well, in Iraq, before we invaded, there were 1.5 million Christians in Iraq. Now, nearly every single one of those historical Christian communities is gone. I believe, standing here, that this war will eventually lead to the displacement of a massive Christian community in Ukraine, and that will be our shame.